Hello everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, dear authors and invited guests. Welcome to Technical Session 6A. Myself, Soumya Raut, and the session will be moderated by me. On behalf of Global Knowledge Research Foundation, it is my great pleasure to welcome you all to the Second World Conference of Information Systems for Business Management ISBM 2023 Bangkok, Thailand. The second edition of the conference is being organized in hybrid. The physical event is organized in Bangkok, Thailand yesterday, and the virtual event is being held through Zoom yesterday and today, that is 7th or 8th September 2023. This series is organized in extension to the ICT 4SD conference series. I hope you will enjoy the knowledgeable and interactive sessions through the day. In this session, we are having 7 presentations. Please note in this session, each presenter has been allocated 12 minutes for presentation and Q&A. It means presenters should finish the presentation in 10 minutes and 2 minutes for Q&A. On 8 minutes, I will raise a gentle reminder. There is another request to all the participants that you all stay connected with us till the closing remarks. If you have any query or update, then you can write it to me in the chat box. Just before we start with the session, I would like to introduce you all with the session chair. So first, we are having Dr. Sachin Gupta.
Thank you so much.
Dr. Sachin Gupta is a passionate technology enthusiast and educator with teaching and administration experience of over 20 years. He is presently working in MVN University as DN, academic and research and professor in the Department of Computer Science and Engineering. He is also associated with MetiAI.com, which is a leading edtech platform with web or Android and iOS modules as an AI product consultant. Dr. Gupta is an associated life member of CSI and life member of Gwalior Academy of Mathematical Science GAMS. We welcome you, sir. Would you like to encourage our authors with your words?
Thank you so much for having me. I'm looking forward to the technical sessions. I have seen all the conferences of GR Foundation ever since its inception, and the quality of papers has been tremendously good every time. So I am hoping all the presenters today also live up to the same standards. All the best, everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Next, we are having Dr. Vijeta Kumawat. Dr. Vijeta Kumawat, Deputy HOD and Associate Professor in Department of CSE at Jaipur Engineering College and Research Center and belongs to Jaipur. She has 17 years of teaching experience and head of department and associate professor. He has expertise in ad hoc networks, wireless sensor networks, and Internet of Things. She has 45 international and national publications. She has attended 50 seminars and workshops. We welcome you, ma'am. Ma'am, would you like to speak few words that can uplift the enthusiasm of our authors?
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, Soumya. First, I would like to congratulate to GR Foundation for organizing such a wonderful type of conference. And I also congratulate to all the participants, and I wish all the best for their presentation and about their research work. So best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now, we are starting up with our first presentation of this event. I would like to call upon Pranav Gupta to present his paper on the topic Advancements in Machine Learning and Computer Vision Approaches for Food and Nutrient Recognition from Images, a survey. Sir, are you there?
Hello. Yes, I am here. Thank you very much. I will begin by sharing my screen, if that's okay.
Yes, sir, you can.
Okay. Please confirm that you're able to see my screen.
Yes, sir, it is visible.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Pranav Dachaman, and I will be presenting on my paper, co-authored with Dr. Girish Sadal and Dr. Sandhya Armugam, titled The Advancements in Machine Learning and Computer Vision Approaches for Food and Nutrient Recognition from Images, a survey. Nowadays, there's a growing interest in what we put in our body, especially due to healthier lifestyles being promoted. And this is understandable, as maintaining a nutritious diet is crucial to preventing a number of health problems. automatically monitoring dietary intake has been made possible by recent advancements in machine learning applications for computer vision. However, of 80 popular dieting apps surveyed by a recent paper, only 2 apps make use of computer vision to estimate the food and its volume. Our aim is to highlight key machine learning approaches and techniques employed in this field and discuss their limitations in the hopes of shedding light on potential avenues for future research. To carry out this survey, 50 papers in the field of nutrition and machine learning over the course of the past 5 years were examined. An image classifier is trained on an image dataset, and the dataset consists of labeled images, which is used by the model to determine characteristics and features it can use to distinguish between classes. The ultimate aim is to have a model that can make accurate predictions on new and unseen images. For example, the Food 101 is a dataset that is very large and popular, containing 101,000 images with 101 different food items, also known as classes, which is highlighted in green. Despite the availability of large datasets, many authors have pivoted towards creating their own dataset due to the fact that their regional cuisine is not represented by these popular datasets, as we can see in orange. The number of custom datasets created in the past 5 years outweighs the usage of popular food datasets in real-life scenarios. To train a model, we can either create it from scratch through time-consuming adjustments, or we can use transfer learning, which involves the use of models that have been trained on vast datasets to learn different features. Transfer learning results in improvements in efficiency and reduced training time. For example, the Inception V3 model is trained on the Food 101 dataset and achieves 91% accuracy, while a model created from scratch only reaches 82% accuracy. It is observed that as the number of classes increase, the accuracy also decreases. VGG, a popular model, appears to perform poorly on benchmark datasets, while still performing on par when trained on custom datasets, which goes to show that there is no such thing as a best general model. It depends on the experimentation and purpose. We also note that a lot of experiments did not mention whether their models are prone to overfitting, which can affect the rate at which a model can predict unseen images. What we ultimately wish to do is identify a food item and then predict the nutrients and calorie contents so that we can maintain a healthier lifestyle. To predict these nutrients, models can be trained using a dataset accounting for nutrients and calories along with the food type, or by detecting the ingredients so that we can predict the nutritional value of a dish. For example, Word2Vec with Inception V4 successfully used to identify a dish type and then predict the calorie content with up to 85% accuracy. Mobile dieting apps, which are very popular nowadays, will often ask users to track their estimated food volume manually. And according to research, this results in over 20% error range in estimation. Instead, the speakers of a phone were used to send a sound signal when taking the top view and side view of a dish, and by using the time taken for the microphone to detect the signal bounce back, the size of each pixel is extrapolated based on distance. Other methods identified use depth sensors in mobile phones or 3D scanners to construct a 3D model. This method can achieve up to around 14% error range when predicting nutrient contents in food. But it is not entirely practical for real-world usage. Trained models have a black box where it is difficult to know whether the model is accurately understanding the correct feature. Two methods used to assess the effectiveness of deep learning models are saliency maps and GradCam. Saliency maps highlight the important regions in an image and can be used to determine if the model is actually focusing on the correct section. This can be seen on the image on the left in grayscale, where the object is indeed separated from the environment. On image A, we can see that the entire item is selected, while in the second image, image B, the glass is more focused on as compared to the wine present in the glass, which the author is actually trying to predict. GradCam, on the other hand, uses a heat map to show feature-rich regions that are impacting decision-making. For example, the first GradCam image, the correct prediction should have been spicy noodles, but instead it was winter melon spare ribs. And by using GradCam, we're able to tell that this is incorrect because the model focused most of their attention on the bottom corner of the dish. Meanwhile, on the right side, we can see the correct prediction, where we can observe that the dish was separated from its environment, and the highest impacting features were the stem and leafy green areas. GradCam can be used to determine if a model is discerning the correct feature from categories which may have the same shape but different texture. For observed outstanding issues, we can see that determined that despite the world growing more and more connected, food datasets remain specific to certain regions. The datasets that were created would also have limited number of images, which can lead to high training accuracy as the model converges really fast and does not learn enough features to generalize well. A dish does not have the same quantity of ingredients all the time, and as such, the nutritional value can shift. For example, let's say in your pastry, you put more sugar. Models also struggled with classification where visually similar food, such as tofu and paneer, can be confused and misclassified. This problem is also very common with combined foods, such as salads. Most papers have not made use of visualization techniques such as GradCam. And a crucial limitation of volume estimation is that the entire space of the bowl is considered when taking a top view picture. So let's say, for example, you have rice and on top of your rice, you placed an egg. So it is possible for the model to basically assume that the rest of the bowl contains eggs. And finally, a lot of data sets are created nowadays by crawling the web. And it is very important to address the ethical considerations related to privacy and consent of individuals when it comes to data collection. Throughout this paper, we explored the various computer vision improvements over the past 5 years and discussed about the necessity of a general food image dataset that considers the varieties in cuisines and regions. Moreover, ingredients that have dissolved, such as sugar, or occluded, such as rice, can impact the accuracy of the prediction. And this has yet to be solved. We believe that by addressing these challenges can improve the reliability and applicability of autonomous food analysis, promoting healthier diets. And with that, I come to the end of my presentation. I would like to thank you for your attention.
Great presentation, Pranav.
Thank you very much, sir.
I just wanted to point, maybe it's just a suggestion, that when we are looking for nutrient values of food, we usually look at the raw material rather cooked. Okay. So your challenge when you say that we are not capable of, whenever the food is fine grained or there is a problem in data sets where you have different items which you cannot recognize, in like Indian food is absolutely not going to be possible to actually apply machine learning to, because this is usually like, you can't actually think about the nutrition of a curry. No, you can't do that.
Definitely.
So, but in any case, if there is a feasibility of that, the model is trained on raw materials for preparation, in that case, this would definitely be far, far better than the approach which we are actually taking right now.
Yes, actually, in the papers that we even went through, right, a few of them also mentioned the use of ingredients. So what they would do is they would go for data sets that have basically, let's assume potatoes, right? So they would have various versions of potatoes, right? Like grated potatoes, diced potatoes, etc. And they would have like a class called potato that has all the different versions. And then finally, they would basically consider and try to, sadly, they did not go for direct detection of ingredients before cooking. They would basically use this data set to predict the nutritional content after the food has been cooked, right? So it's like basically if it's mashed potatoes, etc., they would be able to detect potato just because there might be some mashed textures in there.
All right, good work. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
One question.
Yes.
Yeah. What basically challenges you are facing when you are preparing this paper?
One of the challenges,
yeah,
of course. So one of the challenges that we faced, especially, is the number of papers that have come out in the past 5 years, right? Because we have also explored survey papers that were released, let's say, in 2019, right? Where they went over, for example, the past 10 years, and there was a lot of advancements happening at the time. But machine learning was still improving. It's definitely not to the stage that it is today, right? Especially in terms of information availability for data sets. So when I was looking for papers and going through them, there was definitely a lack of information in those papers that have been released in terms of, for example, we noticed that some papers don't mention whether their models are overfitting. For example, I see 98% accuracy achieved for a specific model, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it will translate really well in prediction outside when we're using it for real world cases.
Okay, good presentation, good work.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
Thank you, dear author.
Can you say again?
Okay, so I would like to call upon our next presenter, Sanket Salve, to present his paper on the paper title, Design, Implementation and Evaluation of a Low-Cost Visible Light Communication Test Bed. Sir, are you there? Sanket, sir, are you there?
Soumya, it seems he is not present in the session, so we move forward to our next presenter.
Okay. So next, I would like to call upon Abhishek Kumar to present his paper on the paper title, Identification of Optimal Products for SMS Marketing with SMS Size Constraints. Sir, are you there?
Yes, I'm there. Can you hear me?
Sir, you may proceed. Oh, yes, sir, I can hear you. You may proceed with the presentation.
Okay. So today we are presenting a paper titled Identification of Optimal Products for SMS Marketing with SMS Size Constraint. I'm Abhishek Kumar and I have co-authored this paper with Parthasarthi Vishnu. I'm presently a visiting assistant professor in Birla Institute of Technology, Ranchi. So this is our paper outline. First, we talk about the objective, then the introduction, basic methodology, the experiments that we completed, and finally we discuss the conclusions. So what is SMS marketing? So short service marketing that involves sending promotional messages via text to a large group of recipients who have given their consent to receive SMS for the promotion. So suppose you give your number to a supermarket for SMS marketing, then the new products that are upcoming can be conveyed to you via an SMS so that you are able to you are able to go for that item. And also from the business perspective, the amount of SMS size based on the SMS size, the return of investment or We propose a method to implement SMS marketing effectively, which will increase the company's potential profit. So we first discuss the proposed method. We present our results and proper explanations by comparing them with the existing methods using clear data sets. So introduction, what is short service method? Short messaging service marketing. It is a
Sorry,
valuable
Abhishek,
marketing strategy
for
due to its
interrupting you.
ability to reach a large audience promptly with a high open rate. So actually what happens is so actually it is
I guess Abhishek sir has been left because of any network issue. Abhishek sir, are you there?
yes, ma'am.
Sir, you are not clearly audible. Kindly check your connection. Or you can just turn off your video camera so that the network can be stabilized.
Okay. So short messaging service marketing. It is a valuable marketing strategy due to its ability to reach a large audience promptly with a high open rate. So actually, if you get an SMS, it is most likely that you will open it within the first 3 minutes that the SMS is delivered. This makes it an efficient and cost-effective way to engage with customers and promote products or services. So simulations on carrier restrictions, which may limit the scope and effectiveness of SMS campaigns. The regulations like suppose there may be a constraint that you can send maximum n number of messages at one time to stop spam SMSs. So that in this paper we handle carrier restriction issues and propose an effective way of SMS marketing. Carrier restrictions refer to the limitations that mobile network carriers impose on SMS marketing campaigns, like the number of messages sent per day. These restrictions are in place to prevent spam and ensure that SMS marketing is used responsibly and within legal guidelines. Our goal is to inform customers regarding fresh arrivals of products that they previously purchased are more likely to purchase it again. What is the outcome? The outcome is the challenge is to identify a number of optimal products for SMS so that the effectiveness, that is the response rate and the rate of return on investment of the SMS marketing can be increased. Suppose let us say that we have a set of fresh products arrive in a company or in a supermarket. So if suppose n number of fresh products arrive in a company or in a supermarket, so in order to inform customers regarding fresh arrivals, the company may send an SMS to the existing customers. So there is a database of the customers in the company's profile, in the company's at the company or the supermarket, and they can send an SMS to a number of potential customers so that the SMS size is fixed, and we may inform only NS number of products. NS is it is smaller than NF. NF is the number of fresh arrivals of the products, and NS is the number of products that we can use to inform the customers. Customers who have previously purchased the products, and now the same fresh products have arrived at the company. So customers that have previously purchased the products and the same fresh products have arrived at the company. The challenge is to identify NS number of optimal products for SMS so that the effectiveness of the SMS marketing can be increased. So we have to identify NS number of optimal products for representing in the SMS so that the company can get maximum return from that SMS. Let an SMS contain maximum L number of characters. Then our objective is to accommodate an optimal number of products for SMS so that valuable products can be advertised and maximum profit can be accumulated. For SMS, the name of the products is vital, and the length of the products, FLP name, is the actual length of the product. Actual length of the product, we add 2 to the product. Suppose there is a product called milk. So we have 4 characters here, but we need to add 2 more characters to it. 2 more characters, and FLP is 4 plus 2, 6. The length of the product is increased by 2 so that you can accommodate a comma and a space, so that the SMS is, we add 2 in every APL for single comma and single space to display product names properly. For
Sorry,
example,
sir, for
letter product.
interrupting you, but can you just conclude the presentation because we're remaining with 2 minutes?
Okay. We have used 2 data sets, ORD1 and ORD2, and on these data sets we perform we have used exhaustive search for SMS marketing, backtracking algorithm for SMS marketing, and dynamic programming algorithm for SMS marketing. These marketing schemes are applied on ORD1 and ORD2. These are 2 data sets that are present in UCI machine learning archive. We perform certain experiments were conducted with a fixed size of 10 items considered for marketing. The L values were varied to explore the impact of different parameters as depicted in figure 1. The next experiment will set the L value to a constant size of 30 while varying the number of items considered for marketing. So in the first case, we have fixed the SMS size to 15, 20. We have varied the SMS size, and we have varied the SMS size while keeping the number of products, NS number of products. Suppose it is we fix the number of products that we are using to 10 and vary the SMS size. Means out of these 10, one from out of this means out of from these 10 products, we can fit the SMS size. In first experiment, we fixed size of 10 items considered for marketing. Only 10 items are present in the first case, and in the second case, we keep the size of the SMS to a constant of 30 and vary the number of items considered for marketing. In the second case, we are varying the items and keeping the data size, means SMS size as a constant. And the dynamic programming algorithm emerged as a forerunner in efficiency, outperforming other algorithms in most cases. When the item size was 5 for the ORD1 dataset, and when the item size was 10 for the ORD2 dataset, the dynamic programming algorithms time complexity was less favorable than other algorithms. In this paper, we propose an SMS marketing scheme by considering SMS size constraints together with increasing the profit of the business by marketing the most profitable products from among new arrival products. The results showed that dynamic programming approach to solve the SMS marketing problem is the most time efficient algorithm. By utilizing dynamic programming, companies can optimize their SMS campaigns, overcome regulatory obstacles, and maximize potential profit. Any questions?
Yeah. What is the maximum size for the SMS you are considering in this paper?
We vary the SMS size from between 15 to 20.
It is the maximum limit.
Maximum size, SMS size may be between 15 to 35. We consider only this SMS constraint. Actually, in actual conditions, there may be an SMS size constraint of 160, but we are considering SMS size from 15 to 35, and we are taking the number of items as we consider the SMS size. When we take a hypothetical condition and then we model our and could you repeat your question?
Okay. Got it.
Abhishek, am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Abhishek, you say you are using dynamic programming. I am in agreement. Dynamic would work good for a scenario where there is a variable optimization. But
Yes.
what are you optimizing on? I mean, on one hand, you are saying the product cost is the constraint. I understand that. I am perfectly in agreement that the more profitable product should be chosen. On the other hand, your SMS, the size of the SMS would be dependent on the name of the product. So, say a product which has a longer name versus a product which has a shorter name. How are you choosing which product? Is it based on the cost of the product or the profitability or the name of the product? Because SMS size is character based. How are you actually deciding that factor?
Sir, actually, when you consider that total size, each product has a means there is a database of each product's can I share my screen once again?
Yes, please go ahead.
Suppose this is the fresh arrival products and buyer relationship table. We have products P1 which has an actual length of 6, P2 which has an actual length of 5, P3 which has an actual length of 4, and there are number of buyers from B1 to B7. We calculate the return on the investment based on TFP, which is the total product sold by the company. To suppose P1 product is sold 10 number of times. P2 is sold for 11 number of times. Now suppose P1 and P3 are the products that arrive at a company for sale. So we can calculate the TFP and IP, importance of the products. Importance of the product is measured based on TFP, total sale frequency. We
Okay,
calculate.
I get it. I get it. You are actually having a ratio of the product name length versus the number of times it's actually being bought. Am I right?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay, got it. Thank you so much.
Thank you, dear author. Now
Thank
we
you.
are proceeding with our next presenter. I would like to call Wong Panya to present her paper on the topic Influence Analytics Model of the Gender Education Courses towards the academic achievement of large university students using data mining techniques. Ma'am, are you there?
Yes.
Okay, so you may proceed.
Ready on my auto team.
Okay.
Okay. Did you see my present? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. My name is Thapana Pongsarat. I'm represent from my auto team. Our paper is about influence analytic model of the general education courses toward the academic achievement of Ratchapat University students using data mining technique. So we go on introduction for manage time. About introduction education management at a higher education level is educational process to produce graduate in various disciplines with knowledge, competence, quality to serve society. Graduate must have academic competence, the abilities quality to serve society. Sorry, graduates must have academic competence, ability to organize, critical thinking, retinal synthesis, and professional creativity. However, the numerous studies have shown the problem to not achieve learning achievements. Research study have found a significant problem in the current education system, which is that learners have lower learning ability, causing the learner to drop out of the education system. Moreover, the context of study in its effect, in its affect the learner process, causing students who cannot adapt to the education system to leave. An important example is coronavirus in 2019 epidemic, which has had a severe impact worldwide. About a research objective, to study the context of learning achievement in higher education in Thailand, to study student cluster behavior influenced by general education costs, to manufacture predictive model for various group of learner affected by general education costs. The researcher believe in the assumption that predicting a student learning style can influence to design and planning of a good learning strategy for the student. About material, population and sample. Research population was a student from the Faculty of Science and Technology at Ratchapat Mahasarakham University, Mahasarakham, Thailand, who received academic achievement during the academic years 2011 to 2018. Research sampling was selected by the proposed sampling from the population comprising 367 students from the Bachelor of Science program in Computer Science. The data preparation in this research consists of 6 components: data collection, data discovery, data cleansing, data structure, data transformation, and data validation. Researchers obtain the data from university through the research ethics processes from the data collection. When the researcher receives the data, researcher anonymize the name and surname of the data owner. For the data discovery pairs, researcher explore the collection data, understand better with its contents and what need to be done to prepare it for the intent use. There are some data set in researcher need to remove because the data is incomplete. About modeling, the modeling process is divided into two pair. About model for class, the first one is model of cluster. The cluster model used the K-mean technique to study the group behavior of students. Is comprised by data categories by academic years attended. The second is model for predicting. The predicting model has used the predictive machine learning technique to compare and select the most effective model. Decision tree, naive Bayes, and KNN. About evolution and development, we have two pair. The first is evolution for cluster. To estimate the optimal number of cluster, the researcher apply an L-bound analysis technique to determine the values between the average within central distance of each of K value from the K-mean analytic approach. Choosing the suitable K value for the L-bound technique is based on the suddenly change in K value of the y-axis to x-axis. In addition, the number of members that occur in each group can be considered whether there is an appropriate distribution or not. About evolution of predicting for this research, there are three types of cross validation model testing: tenfold, 100-fold, and leave one of our cross validation types. Tenfold cross validation is to take 9 data to model and take 1 fold to test. The 100-fold cross validation to take 99-fold to model and 1 fold to test. Lastly, at the leave one out cross validation bring 423 transaction to the model and 1 transaction to test the model. About confusion metric technique, it consists of 4 indicator: accuracy, prediction, recall, and advanced score. About conclusion, the student evaluate the bachelor degree, Bachelor of Science program in Computer Science at Rajabhat Mahasarakham University, which provide education in higher education, has a problem of not complete their study at the very high level of concern. They had a dropout problem as heavy as 17.44% and 6.81% resignation problem. The researcher arranged a cluster that influenced the students who didn't achieve academic achievement, which consists of cluster 1 and cluster 3. The researcher developed a predictive model of learning achievement that achieved the high accuracy with the model accuracy of 87.19% and precision of 68.42%, a recall of 62.92%, and an F1 score of 65.55%. About discussion, 278 students are achieved accomplishment represent in 75.75%. 64 students are dropped out, represent in 17.44%. 25 students are reside, representing 6.81%. Meanwhile, the researcher developed a model to predict the likelihood that students will achieve academic achievement, drop out, or reside using three machine learning techniques, design tree, naive Bayes, and KNN technique. It found that each model was highly predictive. All models which could be used to determine the likelihood that students would not achieve academic achievement for various reasons. Finally, the researcher found that this study was conceived with many other students. Thank you for your attention. Do you have any questions?
Hello,
Hello.
am I audible?
Will you allow me my team to answer for deeper information?
Okay. I
Please.
just asking that you have used the evaluation for prediction is 10-fold, 100-fold.
Wait a minute.
Yes, we use 100-fold.
Yeah, 10-fold, 100-fold, and one
Even
is cross validation.
We use three type of the corporation. First is 10-fold, and the second is 100, and the last one is a leave one out. Also to compare.
Which one is better, and what is the difference between
The best one is can you back the slide, please? At the result.
Yeah.
No, that yes, thank you. This is compare the result from the best one is KNN
10-fold.
10 no, the lift now is a very high that 85.01%. Yes. We have a three category of the first one is dropout student, and the second one is the reside student, and the last one is graduate student.
Okay.
Can I add to her question? I mean, what she asked is the same question that I am having, but I am having another thing that you say that the data size that you took was 367 or approximately, let us say, take it to be 400. With such a small data set, would it be productive? Would it be even recommended to have a validity check which actually goes to as high as 100-fold or leave one out? I mean, 10 was good, but what should be the optimal value? How do you decide that this value should be good when I'm checking for cross validation?
I'm not sure what your question. Can you focus your question, please? What the main point?
I'm repeating again. I'm asking that with a small data set containing, say, 400 items, how did you decide that which validation, which size of validation would be good?
Okay, thank you for your question. Because this is a small university in Thailand. We only have 375 maybe in the 1 year. That's it. Not that's we already have that data set. We cannot get more. That's it. Our answer. Right? That's correct point.
Okay, thank you. I guess that I was actually trying to understand how was your strategy decided?
Okay. The strategy in this research is In Thailand, we have a three university cluster. The first one is the government university. The second one is a private university, and the last one is a local university. Rajapat Mahasarakham is a local university. Normally student in Rajapat is a low level of the student in Thailand, and that many students have to drop out before they done the grade, before they done the educational program. That we have to find the pattern. We have to try to cluster the student that chance to drop out. And if we know that student have maybe going to drop out, we are going to take care more to keep them in the university system to don't leave that out. That's the main point. In the focus of the step, we cluster by K-mean, and then we use the group of the K-mean to predict. If we can predict the right group of the student, we can do something like that I tried to explain before.
Like, thank you. This is a good pilot project, but you would have to increase your data size. Sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you so much.
So you can stop sharing your screen.
Okay, okay.
So proceeding with our next author. So I would like to call Tamanna Madan to present her paper on is blockchain technology a feasible solution for P2P lending platforms to improve operational ability. Ma'am, are you there?
Yes, Soumya, I am there.
Okay, ma'am, you may proceed.
Sure, I'll just present my screen. Is my screen visible?
Yes, ma'am, it is visible.
Okay, thanks for confirming. So, good afternoon, everyone. I am presenting on the topic is blockchain technology a feasible solution for P2P lending platforms to improve operational ability. So this has been designed with my guide, Rashmi Maurya, and we are from Symbiosis International Deemed University. And thank you so much for providing me with the opportunity to present in this conference. The flow of presentation will go like, firstly, I will introduce the topic and the background of the study, then coming on to conceptual framework, then discussing about the research methodology, and the discussions on the literature review, finally the conclusion and the future scope of the study. So as we all know, blockchain is currently a hot topic in the recent years, and it is attracting a lot of attention from the whole world. To make this technology emerging as a new paradigm, individuals are increasingly adopting this technology in their day-to-day lives. So blockchain technology is not only limited to technical world now, but it has also expanded its horizons towards various other sectors like accounting, finance, business, management, and various others. So basically, blockchain technology is based on three pillars. Those are decentralization, distributed consensus mechanism, and cryptography. So talking about the P2P lending platforms now, it is also a novel concept, and wherein there is a platform where borrowers and lenders can lend money without the role of any financial intermediary. So, blockchain and peer to peer lending platforms are two innovative financial concepts that have the potential to transform lending and borrowing systems, and also they can scale up the economy. So my research tends to shed the light on the technologies, opportunities, and threat it may pose while implementing the blockchain technology in the real world. Coming on to the conceptual framework, so blockchain technology will be how it works is basically explained in this framework. So there are blocks that are connected via hash functions in the blockchain, and there are copies of these blocks that are kept safely in the system. And if someone tries to tamper any single block, all the rest of the blocks coming after that will be tampered. So this would be basically a great implementation that we can have for P2P lending platforms as well, wherein we can store the transaction histories, and no alteration can be done with the records, because even if one single record is being tampered, all the coming records will be tampered. Now, to verify these informations of each transaction, all the records that are available in the blockchain technology, those are collected in form of the blocks, as we already discussed. So before adding them to a permanent ledger, these blocks are temporarily sequenced in a chronological order, and only when these are approved by trusted third parties and it get a consensus of more than 51%, only then they are converted to a permanent ledger. Until then, they remains synchronized by unsynchronized. So as this technology has more than a requirement of more than 51% of participants to get the synchronized record of the transactions, so this technology is difficult to be hacked. So coming on to the research methodology, this is a conceptual paper, and qualitative study has been done for this research, and I have collected the data from various research databases like Scopus, Emerald, Science Direct, and various papers have been studied, mainly based on the terms, which includes blockchain and P2P lending literature. The second one is the issues in blockchain and fintech and P2P lending platforms. After that, the screening of these research articles has been done in context to the topic that has been selected. Then the issues have been identified and the probable solutions have been provided for this study. The major objectives of the study are to identify the challenges that are currently available in the blockchain technology and P2P lending platforms, and providing probable solutions to resolve them. Secondly, to analyze if the impact of regulatory frameworks can help the implementation of P2P lending platforms. And lastly, to compare the existing methodology and the blockchain implemented methodology in P2P lending platforms. So the discussions that has been done in the previous literatures were that the services tend to grow and the risk of frauds and crimes also tends to grow at higher pace, which leads to a crash in P2P lending market. And although there is no such regulatory body to analyze the risks and frauds that are taking place and to resolve them. So to reduce these risk of frauds and crimes, we have suggested to implement the blockchain technology in P2P lending platforms. Then the trust, security, and transparency are also major concerns that needs to be taken care of while implementing such technology in P2P lending platform. Or maybe this is a very novel concept as well. So anything should be taken care of when we implement the new technologies, and the testings should also be done. But as we had the limited data for the market, so we were not able to prepare we were not able to do a quantitative study on this. But as and when if there is data available, we would try to do that as well. And in India, P2P lending platforms are exploring how they can better implement this technology. And even in India, few of the platforms are discussing on how they can implement blockchain technology. So naming some of the P2P platforms who are looking into implementing this technology is Faircent and Lending Club. And yeah, they are looking into this technology and have also published few of their blogs on their website. And the regulatory body can also help, if introduced, in reducing the anti-money laundering activities, and it will also help in knowing the customer's requirement in a better way. So finally, concluding the topic, that implementing blockchain in the P2P lending market would bring a lot of changes in the process that operates on daily basis. The services that are offered to customers and the models of the market would also be changed in a better way. Although the blockchain technology comes with lots of features that can help the parties to provide more secure, transparent, trustworthy, and decentralized environment, but lack of expertise and reputational risk are the two major challenges that are being faced currently while incorporating blockchain technology in P2P lending services. So the future scope that have been identified could be to spread the digital literacy by using P2P lending services and blockchain technology. And secondly, the effectiveness of Indian regulatory frameworks can be discussed in further studies. So that was it from my end. Thank you so much. Please let me know if you have any questions.
Tamanna, there's a topic that you have chosen. Is it the primary stages of your research, or are you advancing?
Sir, I'm currently at my starting phase of the research, and this is my first research paper only.
Okay. So there is a very treacherous slope on the topic that you have chosen. There are several reasons. I mean, first of all, you want a blockchain to be decentralized, perfectly fine.
Yes.
But now you want to bring in a regulatory framework, a regulatory body. So the concept of the blockchain being the trusted third party is violated. The very first issue. That it's not the there are two kinds. I mean, blockchain can be several types that you must have already studied. But the moment you bring in a regulatory body holding it, that there be, then it does either does not remain a P2P lending, because if it were P2P lending, then there were no regulatory body involved, there was no third party actually required to be there. But if it is being overseen, so there is a conflict of interest in the first part. Secondly, what are you planning to store on the blockchain?
So firstly, answering your first question, I think there was a misunderstanding. The regulatory body has been, thought of in a way where we can implement for P2P lending platforms, which will help the customers from saving from frauds or crimes that they are facing.
Agreed. Who is the lender?
It can be any person, you, me, or anyone.
Okay.
Because there is no
So,
financial body involved in that.
by definition, P2P lending says it's a person to person.
Yes.
Okay. You do not want, why is the bank not a party to it? I mean, it could have been a simple banking transaction as well.
Yes.
Why blockchain?
So because banks are already dealing at a very high level, and they don't provide the maybe the funds based on without the documentation, but P2P lending platforms are providing the funds based on the trust. So that is why I think this is
If there is,
first.
okay, if there is anonymity, how can there be trust?
Yeah, that is why the blockchain I want to include blockchain technology in P2P lending platforms, so it can
What would blockchain do?
build up it will record all the transactions and whatever.
Agreed, but agreed. It would record all the transactions, but you do not know who is at the other end of the chain. There is
Yeah,
only a
but
digital
KYC.
identity. How are
Yes.
you identifying?
Yeah, that is why know your customer requirements were also focused on, and if we get all the documentations regarding that, so it would be keeping all the documents ready for the customer as well, who is taking the
You
loan
just
or.
you just contradicted a statement which you made just a minute back. You said banks require all kind of documentation, but P2P lending can be actually only trust based. And now you said
Sir,
that I
yeah,
can be,
I
what
I'll
I'm saying is What I am saying is there is definitely going to be a contradiction, howsoever you want to play it. There is no possibility that this contradiction is not going to come, because P2P lending is basically not having a third party. But whenever we are having KYC, whenever we are having a regulatory body itself becomes a third party, which is for establishing trust. Blockchains work on the principle of establishing trust amongst the people without requiring a third party to monitor them. Ideally, that's the best case scenario.
Yes, sir.
So first question. Now, second that you were actually answering again, that what are you planning to store?
So yeah, the transactions that P2P lending platforms, borrowers or lenders would be making.
Would storing only the transactions work?
Initially, it may help because we would be knowing who has taken the funds and who has lended the funds. So
That means you need to store the identification also.
yes, correct.
How big the record of an identification would be? What
It
are you
may
intending to store for identification?
it may include all the KYC process documents that are involved in that.
If you are saying that you want to store the document on a blockchain, the cost of storage would be much higher than the cost of actually the transaction. I'm thinking that on Ethereum, if you want to store a document which is 400 KB, a transaction which is a small size would work very well. But any file which actually grows in size, I have a scholars facing the same challenge. That is why I'm sharing the details with you. So they tried to work with the healthcare blockchain and they wanted to store the medical records fine, perfectly so far that you want them to be not tamperable. But when it came to actual storage and they wanted to discuss that what would be the cost of storage, they're stuck. There is no chance that they are actually able to say that we are willing to store only the transaction, or we are willing to have a hybrid model where there's an off-chain on-chain model, that I'm putting the document on the off-chain and storing only the hash of that on the on-chain. So there are a lot of challenges that this
Right. I guess
project
that needs
is.
to be studied then.
Yes. Okay, so
Thank you so much, sir, for
all right.
letting me know about this. I will
Sure,
surely
sure.
look into this.
Sure, discuss with your supervisor as well, because these are some challenges. You are just on the initial stages. This is going to come as a big issue sooner or later. All right?
Sure, sir. Thank you so much for your feedback. I'll look into it.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, dear author.
Thank you so much.
Now, proceeding with our next presenter, I would like to call Poonam Rakhibe to present her paper on the paper title Recent Methods on Medical Image Imprinting and Multitask Learning Using Deep Learning Models. Ma'am, are you there?
Yes, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible. You may proceed.
I'm not able to share the screen. Yes, screen share is loading. Such messages appearing on my screen that your screen share is loading. It might take some time.
Ma'am, no issue. You can resolve this by the time we can proceed with our next presenter. In case we're having any kind of issue, you can get into the chat box.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am. So, let me just stop sharing the screen. Now, we are proceeding with our next presenter. I would like to call Sheetal Soni ma'am to present her paper on paper title Striving for Sustainability, Accessing Energy, Efficiency and Environmental Practices in Fast Fashion Brands Supply Chains. Ma'am, are you there?
Hi, yes, I'm here.
Okay, ma'am, you may
Am I
proceed.
audible clearly?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sharing my screen. Yeah, so my topic is striving for sustainability, assessing energy efficiency and environmental practices in fast fashion brand supply chain. I'm Dr. Sheetal Soni. I'm from National Institute of Fashion Technology, Jodhpur, Rajasthan, India. A very good afternoon to everybody, all of present here. So the topic basically talks about that how fashion industry is impacting the environment and what supply chain practices they need to adopt in order to uh, streamline their operation in such a way so that they have a less impact on the environment. As we all know that the fashion industry has gained notoriety for its detrimental environmental impact, which is characterized maybe in terms of excessive resource consumptions, high energy usage, significant carbon emissions. So in response to all these mounting concerns, fast fashion brands and the other fashion brands, they have increasingly striving to adapt the sustainable practices throughout their supply chain. This particular paper aimed to assess the progress made by the fashion brands in achieving the sustainability goals, specifically by focusing on the energy efficiency and environmental practices within their supply chain. So starting with the introduction, sorry. So starting with the introduction. So the oral presentation will be talking about the introduction, literature review, research gap, then the methodology and the comparison of the annual reports and the findings and conclusion. So starting with the introduction, as you all know, the fast fashion industry is valued at worldwide. In 2021, it was valued at 91.23 billion, and now it has reached to now it is projected that by 2026 it will get 133 billion US dollar value, and at the same time, it is also accountable for around 2.1 billion metric tons of greenhouse gas emissions by the fashion industry, and half of which were produced by the fast fashion. So the fashion industry's impact has raised environmental the awareness among the companies and consumers. There are few brands who are embracing the sustainability, and whereas there are few brands who are just being criticized for their greenwashing practices. So the present study would like to highlight that how sustainable supply chain practices can be adopted by the fashion industries. For this, I made a comparison between the two top-notch luxury fashion brands who are known for its supply chain. Sustainable supply chain practices and who disclose all these information in their annual report. So basically, the study highlights the past 6 years annual report. The literature review, when we talk about the literature review, according to a study in 2019 by Boston Consulting Group, it is forecasted that by 2030, the global consumption for textile products is expected to escalate to 1 or 2 million tons from its current estimated amount of 62 million tons. The fashion industry demand for constant change and new trends has led to growing environmental concern, which is more emphasizing on the textile productions and the consumption of clothing. There are various studies done by in order to introduce the sustainable supply chain framework that can be adopted by fashion industries. One of the important study done by Suring and Martin Miller in 2008 and further followed by the Turker and Altons. They have developed a supply chain management framework which they have highlighted the 3 important components. The components talk about the motivation for business to implement sustainable supply chain management practices. The second component, they talk about the evaluation of the suppliers in terms of the risk and the performances. The third one is the management of the sustainable product throughout the entire supply chain. So while talking about the research here, as we know that the consumers are increasingly aware of the environmental impact of the fashion fabric and the ethical concern regarding how the fashion products have been produced. It's also been raised among them. One of the studies conducted by the McKinsey and Company, they talked about that how European consumers are concerned about, and they would like to know that how the fashion products have been produced. So a new trend has been observed in the fashion industry, where the much emphasis is given on the adoption of the principle of sustainability and concepts like longer product lifespan, reduced frequent purchases, and ethical productions and the sales practices. Also, because of the impact of the COVID-19, the fashion industry's practices have also been realigned, and the new approaches have been adopted, and one of the important approaches, of course, sustainability. Looking at the emerging concern of the consumers towards the towards this sustainable conscious product. So the study recognized the adverse impact of the fashion industry on the environment and tries to highlight the need for the important changes in the industry's business model, such as slowing down productions. That is not obviously not possible. So of course, adopting the implementing the sustainable practices in their overall supply chain. The purpose is to thoroughly analyzing the annual report of fashion brands, and the study intends to provide the constant recommendations for the fashion industries that can be adopted by the companies in order to streamline their supply chain operations. So the research methodology for this paper is the highlighting the working of the sustainable fashion supply chain and examining these sustainable practices implemented by well-known prestigious fashion brands. So Reformation in Patagonia was selected for the study, and their 6 years annual reports were thoroughly studied. And in order to highlight the impact on the supply chain operations and environmental sustainability, in the different categories, 4 performance categories were identified: people, product, partners, and suppliers. These were the 4 performance categories were considered on the basis of the annual reports, the thorough understanding of the annual reports, and along with that, the subcategories of these performance categories were also highlighted. So, in terms of comparative analysis of Patagonia definition, so it is people, partners, suppliers, and the planet and the product. So when we talk about the people, it highlighted more about the inclusivity, fairness, and diversity. So both the companies have adopted a communication approach where they are open for the communication, feedback, suggestions from all the stakeholders of their organization, be it employees or the customers. They maintain active connections with all the stakeholders of the company in order to improve their performances. The another one is the partners and the suppliers, where different subcategories are highlighted. That is code of conduct and business integration, environmental certification, social responsibility. So there is a very interesting approach adopted by the Reformation, that they have developed a ref scale, in which they developed a code of conduct for all the suppliers who are doing businesses with them. So they have a color code category that is green, yellow, orange, and red. So they are comfortable in working with the green. Majority of the production is being given to the suppliers who have been rated as green. Yellow are the one who are also doing good, but with minor corrections. Orange, the few portion of the production can be given only on the certain conditions, but yes, they are in a danger zone. And the last one is red, which are not at all eligible to work with the reformation. So they are following this color-coded evaluation system for its supplier evaluation, which is published in the website, and all the suppliers who are connected with them, they know it very well. Whereas the Patagonia do not have this color code system, but they have certain written environmental standards and policies. The code of conduct are written for them. They maintain the frequent audit for their suppliers. Then in terms of business integration, they have integration. Hello?
Ma'am, sorry
Yeah,
to
so
interrupt, but you are having 2 minutes. Can you please conclude with the presentation?
Oh, okay. So there are so many factors on like environmental certifications. So Reformation is being certified on a number of platforms. Patagonia is also certified. It's also part of the 1% of the planet, which is a global organization. All the companies, fashion companies who are associated with the 1% for the planet, they have to spend 1% of their own revenue for the sustainability, for the social responsible activities. They're also doing the activities for the planet. So they have the collaborations with the various programs. Like Patagonia has a part of the Sustainable Apparel Coalition in the Textile Exchange, which is a basic tool for the standardized measurement of the value chain of the supply chain. For the low impact garment care, they are being certified with the global TDS, which is basically global traceable down standard. And they certified that they grow all virgin cottons in their process. So on all those bases, they've been analyzed and comparison has been made. The findings majorly highlighted that the Reformation has created a strategy which is in alignment. Which is in alignment with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. So Patagonia have not developed any strategy, but just learned the process, not in alignment with the Sustainable Development Goal, but yes, the 4-step process highlights about the measuring the impact, reducing impact, transition to renewable energy and capture. So Reformation is that they some of the problems that we have that I found was there that they are not talking about all the process is not transparent. However, they are claiming that the complete process is transparent, but to a certain extent it is not. Like they are not. The majority of the portion which is transparent was about stringent fiber and production standards, whereas for Patagonia, so it was observed from the other cases also that they are highlighting the animal welfare and labor they are not talking about. And Patagonia is more about concern about environment and animal welfare over the profit. So from all the study, it is providing, the purpose of the study is to provide a platform to understand for all those fashion companies who would like to shift from their traditional supply chain to the sustainable supply chain, that because adopting sustainable supply chain will come with its own challenges. So the comparison and the insights and inputs from this comparison would help to fashion companies to understand that what level of work is required to be done in order to incorporate the sustainable process and practices in their overall process. And because there are companies who are doing it well, there is no as such a platform for sustainable reporting. There's no standard about it, and how to measure the sustainability practices, the authenticity of sustainable practices adopted by the fashion company is a doubt in itself, and that is why some of companies are greenwashing on it, and some of the companies are doing it very well. So these two brands are setting a good example for other fashion companies to follow in terms of the sustainable reporting specifically. So the companies need to adopt the circular business model and renewable energy. The companies need to gain an understanding of the sustainable practices and the overall supply chain process of their fashion product development. These two companies can set an excellent example in order to adopt the sustainable practices. There are different companies come under the fashion industry, so might be a separate approach is required to be developed for the fast fashion, for the luxury brand, and for the clothing brands. And so the conclusions I would like to highlight that the particular study that provides practical implications for the managers and for all the fashion companies who are seeking to implement these sustainable practices in their organization and their overall supply chain, so that they need to understand that it will come along with the certain challenges. They need to understand the different aspects, different factors of production of the sustainable practices, because implementing sustainable practices would definitely.
I'm so sorry, ma'am, to interrupt you again, but please conclude with the presentation.
Yeah, I've concluded. Thank you so much. Yeah.
What challenges you are facing?
Sorry?
What challenges are you are facing during this research work?
The most important problem or the challenges was that all the informations are based on the secondary literature. That is to get the information from their annual reports. So going through their annual reports and checking if we are making some conclusion about it, like we are making a conclusion in terms of how they are formulating the sustainable strategy. So we do not make any wrong assumptions because it is all qualitative information that we are giving. So there were so many reports, and we tried to validate one report with the another report. So going through the annual report of these companies was actually a biggest challenge, because there was a long reports and companies giving all those informations. We have to highlight that which information is important, which is not important, in order to measure that the overall supply chain is sustainable or not.
And one more question: what code of conduct you are basically using for partners and suppliers?
So there is, so we are just demonstrating the code of conduct that has been adopted by the companies. So like Reformation has published its code of conduct very publicly that they are using a ref scale. But when we are talking about the Patagonia, there is no specific code of conduct. They are, I don't know, I'm not able to come to that slide. They are just talking about some auditing, they are saying. Whereas the Reformation saying that they are using some color code in order to measure the evaluating the suppliers process and working. So they have a zero tolerance policy for when it comes to their suppliers and partners of performance evaluation. And both the companies have established a certain benchmark. Ref has disclosed it very clearly. Patagonia, we were unable to find much. What we found is that they are using a rigorous auditing in order to critically evaluate the suppliers.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Now, Poonam ma'am, are you ready with the presentation?
Yes, ma'am. Am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you're audible. You may proceed with the presentation, please.
Okay. Is my screen visible now?
Yes, it is visible.
Good afternoon, everyone. Today I'm going to present a topic of recent methods on medical image imprinting and multitask learning using deep learning models. Author for this paper is me, Poonam Rakibe. I am a research scholar from D.Y. Patil Institute of Technology, along with my guide, Dr. Pramod Patil. The flow of the presentation will be like this, where I'm going to introduce about my topic, then objective of today's presentation. Then I'm going to give some review on DL methods or approaches, review of some existing medical image imprinting, existing GAN models, some research gap identified during these reviews, proposed system and conclusion, and lastly the bibliography or references. Computer aided diagnosis systems or computer aided detection, you can say, these are also called as computer aided diagnosis, are the system that assist doctors in the interpretation of medical images. The main goal of CAD systems is to identify abnormal signs at an earliest that a human professional fails to find. So CAD systems are required for disease categorization, confirmation of severity level of the disease, or it can be also used for prevention of future threat at an early stage. So humans are combating numerous severe diseases and increasing their life expectancy and health day to day. Medical images are valuable source of crucial information on which practitioners or clinicians can rely. Based on patient's medical information, an intelligent computer aided diagnostic system is required for automatic prediction of disease and the stated things which I have already discussed, that is confirmation of severity level and prevention of future threats. But it happens that medical images can be of different types, that medical images such as MRI, CT, X-ray and so on have been one of the most important medical imaging systems. But if the medical images are distorted, distorted images may impede the diagnosis. So distortion in medical images considerably impede medical diagnosis. So the distortion in the medical images can be due to reflection from metallic implants which are there in patient's body, or if there are foreign items like drainage, pacemakers in the patient's body, catheter tubes. These things contribute to distortion in medical imaging. The patient's unexpected movement during the scanning period might occasionally damage medical imaging. So if we want to have a CAD system which will diagnose the disease properly, we need to have medical images of good quality. So such good quality images can be acquired uh, not only during the scanning purposes, scanning process, but even if the medical images are distorted, the distorted images can be recovered or can be converted to a good quality images. So enhancing diagnostic imaging accuracy and rebuilding damaged areas are crucial for categorization of medical images. Basically, my aim is to develop a classification methodology or a system which will classify the medical images using improved image imprinting with multitask learning based on EGAN, that is enhanced GAN, and deep learning for better medical diagnosis. So if I want to develop a system which is used as CAD system, before that, today's objective for the presentation is I need to perform a literature survey on different DL approaches, then medical imprinting techniques and data sets for medical images. As a result, enhancing diagnostic imaging accuracy and rebuilding damaged areas are critical for the categorization of medical images. These challenges have recently been widely researched for medical image imprinting using deep learning approaches. So I have reviewed some methods of deep learning. These methods I have categorized into EGAN, that is enhanced GAN, which is also called as enhanced generative adversarial networks. Some DL approaches such as reinforcement learning, transfer learning, multitask learning, and imprinting methods. GAN is inclusive in imprinting method. So I have gone through some of the good papers. I have gone through some good literatures where I have covered some approaches which are DL approaches, in which I have covered 3 to 5, 6 to 7 papers where they have used, in the first paper, they have used transfer learning with FXNet B4, where they have used a data set of X-ray images as well as MRI images. Uh, the result of their method is quite good, but still they have used pre-trained model as they are using transfer learning. In the second paper, the DL approach which they have used is reinforcement learning. Along with reinforcement learning, they have used DQN algorithm. And in the third paper, again, reinforcement learning they have used, where they have considered model free as well as model based approach. This is a review paper again, so it has got all methods which are based on reinforcement learning for medical imaging. After studying reinforcement learning, transfer learning paper, I have gone through some papers which are related to medical imaging only, but they are based on multitask learning deep approach, where along with multitask learning, they have used CNN, where they have got improved result for segmentation and classification. Some more
Sorry,
papers.
ma'am, for interrupting you, but you're remaining with 2 minutes. Kindly conclude with the presentation.
Okay, so I have gone through different. I have gone through different literature survey where I have considered some approaches, reinforcement learning, deep learning. But what I have found out is transfer learning often relies on selecting pre-trained model, and they are not suitable for the task. So they are task specific. They require a powerful hardware. Fine tuning and hyperparameter tuning can be time consuming. Lack of interpretability is there, which is drawback in RL model. So I have considered multitask learning. There are some advantages of multitask learning, that is improved generalization. You can use multitask learning as generalized model. MTL allows model to leverage information from multiple related tasks. So at the same time, if you can choose 3 auxiliary tasks, these tasks will help each other, so that the training time is also less. Then training a model on multiple tasks can act as form of regularization. Interpretability is also good in case of MTL. Even you can choose task of your choice, which will help you to achieve the final result. The second, the second kind of the second survey I have done that is for using GAN. So this is the survey table. What I have found out is there are two drawbacks, main drawbacks of GAN. First one is called mode collapse, and the other one is non-convergence. Mode collapse is a common problem in GAN where the generator fails to produce diverse set of samples. So if it is failing to produce diverse set of samples, instead it is generating limited range of similar or identical output. Because of that, discriminator also fail to work better. So mode collapse occurs when generator of the GAN produces limited, repetitive or nearly identical samples despite of having more diverse training data set. This happens because the generator or discriminator enter into a dynamic where the generator learns to produce only few modes and the discriminator finds hard to distinguish. So there are various causes of mode collapse. First one is discriminator is weak. Second can be the data is balanced, or the third is inadequate architecture. So the same drawback I have found out in non-convergence also, where the improvement in network architecture is to be done, or the data set is to be increased, or the data items in the data set is to be increased. So for that, I have gone through various papers where they have used GAN along with multitask learning. I have gone through the data sets they have used. And after using those data sets and the methodology, which is GAN based multitask learning methodology, they have used performance metrics. Only in paper number 28 they have not used PSNR. Everywhere else they have used PSNR. This is the analysis of various methods where they have used PSNR and SSIM for access for quality and performance evaluation. So what I can conclude, this is my proposed system where I have used a multitask learning based GAN, where multitask learnings where I have chosen 3 tasks which will help each other. So there is a common in every GAN there is a generator and there is a discriminator. In generator, there is a shared encoder where which you can see, which is which I have named as multitask GAN encoder, which is shared encoder. And for that shared encoder, there are 3 different decoders, one for every task. So for the task I have chosen as one is for age generation of image, second one is contrast generation, third one is organ boundary generation. Now this generator block, I have tried to optimize this generator block using or adding some more layers to the encoder as well as to the decoders. So this is what I have tried to do, where instead in all other papers whatever I have studied, they have used spectral normalization or batch normalization. I have tried to use hybrid normalization along with leaky ReLU. So encoder block is having 2D convolutional layer, 2 layers, and decoder also has 2D deconvolutional layers. But instead of using the spectral normalization, hybrid normalization I have used. So I can conclude that instead of using reinforcement learning or transfer learning, where there are some drawbacks of these two, we can use multitask learning. Multitask learning will allow us to have architecture where you can have multiple tasks, but those tasks will help each other in order to achieve the final task. The second thing, what I have concluded is instead of using a single data set which will have less number of data items in it or less number of images in it, we can perform data augmentation so that our data items or the data set size can be increased. And third thing is, if we want to improve the performance of GAN model, then we have to have a good network architecture where if we want to improve the network architecture, we have to have a balance between generator as well as discriminator. The network architecture of generator can be improved or you can say enhanced, or you can say optimized by adding some layers to the encoder and decoder, as well as to the discriminator, so that the drawbacks of GAN, which is mode collapse and non-convergence, can be minimized, and the quality of the images can be improved. Thank you. Any questions?
Yeah, what is the main challenges you are facing by using this multitask learning with GAN technology?
Main challenge I have what I have faced is medical data sets are very less. Whatever papers I have, yes. Hello.
Hello.
Yeah. Yes,
Am I
yes, you
audible?
can go. Yes, please go on.
Yes. Okay. So the first thing what I have faced is there are very less number of papers which are based. Am I
Yes, your
audible,
screen
ma'am?
is. Yeah,
Hello.
you are audible. You are audible. Your screen is also visible now.
Am I audible? Am I audible, ma'am?
Yes, you are audible.
Did you could you hear my answer?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
So it's a final call for Sanket Salvi. Are you there, sir? Sanket, sir, are you there? I
You
guess
can
he's
close the
not
session,
there.
I believe. Yeah, you can close the session, I believe. All the presenters might have.
Okay, sir.
Can we leave?
So I sincerely thank our authors for their excellent presentation and contribution in this session, and all our participants for being a part of this international conference. I hope this session was informative enough. We, on the behalf of the entire team, thank you for your support during the second version and the first version of the conference. We will be happy to have you in the third session in 2024. All the presenters would be getting the digital certificates through email within 2 working days. Further, all the papers have been already forwarded to the Springer. The publication will be live within 6 months. Kindly cooperate with the team of ISBM 2023. I also thank our session chairs, Dr. Sachin Gupta and Dr. Vijeta Kumawat ma'am, for chairing the session. A token of appreciation to the chair on behalf of Team ISBM 2023 and the Global Knowledge Research Foundation partners. I also request our session chairs to enlighten me as well as our hardworking presenters with their beautiful words.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I kindly request all the presenter to turn on their camera as well as our session chair. Vijita ma'am, do you want to say something?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much for inviting me. And I congratulate all the participants for their wonderful research work and presentation. I wish all the best to all of them for their research future. Thank you. Thank you so much. And nice to meet you with Dr. Sachin Gupta, sir.
My pleasure, ma'am. My pleasure.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
I request all the participants to turn on their camera so that I can take a quick snapshot. Thank you so much, everyone, for a valuable time.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, honestly.
Thank you, everyone. All the best.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.